Welcome to WOWBIZ Weekly, Omaha, Nebraska's only local business news magazine podcast. We're on the internet on wowbiztv.com, as you obviously know right now. We're also on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel and then go to WOWBIZ TV. Excellent opportunity to see what is really happening, get inside the news and current events and trends that are occurring here in Omaha, Nebraska, and then understand how Omaha's trends relate to national trends. You'll have the big picture as you get done watching WOWBIZ TV and WOWBIZ Weekly. Thanks for joining me. I'm Lynn Hinderaker, and I have an incredible lineup. Now, we're doing something very special today. Creighton University has obviously been behind the evolution and the coming together of this project. I'm honored to have a bunch of Creighton business students with me here in the room. Let's see if we can hear a little bit from these folks right now. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Awesome. These are an energetic next generation. These are Gen Y folks that are here to learn, absorb, contribute, collaborate, and co-create. And that's what we're going to do today as I introduce you to four of my guests. Now, the first one's a very special guy. I've known him for over 20 years, off and on. He has a fascinating career. He's kind of ending one chapter and beginning yet another chapter. He's the former CEO of Proxibid, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome roundly, right here at the Hickson Lead Auditorium in Creighton University, my good friend, Mr. Bruce Hoberman, ladies and gentlemen, right now. What are you waiting for, man? Come join me. Good to see you.
I'm a little slow.
No, you're not. You're always ahead of the crowd, as a matter of fact. That's what I like about you, Bruce. Hey, tell me a little bit about your career. Let's chat just a few minutes here and see where it's gone. Now, how long have you been with Proxibid, for instance? Five-year?
No. I've been with this. I have been the president and CEO of Proxibid basically since we came out of beta testing as a live company in January of 03. So I'm just past 10 years in my relationship with Proxibid. Absolutely.
Now, did you conceive the auction-based business model, or did a technology guy call you and say, Bruce, I need your leadership?
Actually, neither. There were four young guys who had worked with a forerunner in this new industry of hosting live auctions on the internet. That company went bankrupt. They began to bring this company out of the ground, and they were all in their early 30s. They'd never started a business before, and they were looking for somebody who knew how to build a business.
Okay.
And they found me.
Yes.
They'd been at it about a year and a half prior to my coming on board in January of 03.
Okay, all right, outstanding. So you've been with them a long time. What's the number one thing, as you look at the auction business model and Proxibid in particular, that you would comment on or see that's on you? Because I see it's like niching down now. The category's grown, and now it's serving a few industries that are really auction intensive, or not.
What Proxibid did for me, one of the things that attracted me particularly to Proxibid was the opportunity for value-added customer service. It was an industry, the newest industry in the world was interfacing with arguably the second oldest industry in the world.
Yeah, the auction industry is very,
traces
very
its
old.
roots back about 8,000 years.
This is amazing.
And prior to technology being introduced into the auction industry, the latest and greatest thing was the megaphone, because guys didn't have to shout, I've got 20 who will give me 30. They used a megaphone. And so what I saw in this opportunity was a chance to develop a company built around an unparalleled level of customer service. We held a lot of hands. We taught courses around the United States.
Did you really? So you did all the instructional content stuff? Let me ask you this. Where are they today? I know that Ryan is your new CEO over there, but what's the revenue? Can you share some sense of growth?
Sure. In 2003, Proxibid did 158 auctions and sold $3.8 million online in our first year.
How about a round of applause for a $3.8 million entrepreneurial venture right here in Omaha? Outstanding. Congratulations.
In 2012, Proxibid had become the largest aggregator of live auctions on the internet in the world. And we did about something just north of 12,000 auctions. Don't hold me to this exact number, $2.7 billion went through our platform, and we sold north of $300 million.
Oh my goodness. Working on a commission basis, essentially. You collect a percentage, right?
The primary revenue stream is generated by an internet buyer's premium. When you register for an auction online, you agree to pay a premium ranging from 1% to, for small items, as high as 5%.
You know what I find interesting? Auctioneering I mean, you think of it as a commodity business. You're driving it down to the lowest common denominator, and you're so foresighted and smart and savvy at this point in your life. You know that customer service and creating added value is the way to offset
for old.
that. No, I'm not going there, my friend. Now listen, these people want to know a little bit more about you, and particularly your area of expertise, your favorite passion, organizational development. But let's just very briefly, in 30 seconds here, recount your career. I met you at Homer's, and just kind of quickly go through it.
When I was 22 years old, I graduated college, and I was desperate for a way to avoid having to work for a living. So I borrowed $3,000. I went to the old market, rented 500 square feet, and armed with a degree in English literature, I started Homer's Record Store.
Yes. And that story's still there, isn't it? That's the
is.
mainstay. If you want to look for the newest music, you know, we all know Homer's down the
I've been gone for a long time. Along the way, I started a distribution company that distributed pre-recorded music.
Right.
A division that distributed consumer electronics, and finally a division that distributed office products to small storefronts. Back in the 80s when home offices and you can make $1 million in your basement was a big deal.
Yeah.
Then when I was 46 years old, I sold it all. I spent a few years as a volunteer with the incubator in North Omaha.
Yes.
And then I went to work for the U.S. State Department as a volunteer. And my wife and I went to
A checkered career here. This is I missed these chapters.
My wife and I went to Africa for a year and a half and helped develop small business. I lived in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Namibia, none of which I could pronounce until I got there.
I bet. Well, listen, Louis, as we wrap up here, I want to focus on the essence of this interview, because I know you've accrued tremendous wisdom and insight about culture, you know, and organizational development, which if you're not in that world, it seems kind of vague. Give us one insight. You've been through all these companies. Why do you enjoy it so much, and what's the juice?
Let's start with the basic premise here that businesses divide into three equally important components, and your business is only as good as its weakest link.
Yeah.
The operating side of the business, the financial side of the business, and in my opinion, the culture. And that clearly in most businesses, if you look at their chart of accounts, if you look at their overhead, people are their most expensive asset, and yet in most instances, they're given the least amount of
Right, they're most
attention.
underserved.
Great
really.
companies are built from the inside out. Great companies are driven by people who have a passion to do what it is that they want to do. That it's more than just going to work every day, and that stems from developing a culture.
Yeah.
Okay, and this comes from a guy, because when I started my business, I had no previous experience. I had a degree in English literature, and so I began to treat myself and the people who came to work for me the way I'd want to be treated if I worked for somebody else.
There's an invaluable lesson.
Not because I thought other people were doing it wrong, I had no idea. And it was from that I began to experience and see the power of a well-constructed and well-managed culture.
Fantastic insight. The power of culture.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that as we look at our workforce and our people, we're always thinking about them based on what they have done in the past or how they think about the past rather than what their possibilities are. So we fail to invest in them because we don't see the possibilities.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Hoberman, former CEO of Proxibid. Pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with a great second interview. We'll see you soon. Thanks so very much. Bye-bye.